Thank you so much. During World War II, when Winston Churchill was inspiring some support to rebuild the House of Commons after it had been damaged, he said, "We shape our buildings, and later our buildings shape us." And I think that quote can refer to Fayetteville, Arkansas, too. We have buildings, especially those buildings and structures that survived the post-Civil War. And we're really proud that we have those buildings, and 3 important ones are owned and maintained by the Washington County Historical Society. And they do a fantastic job of sharing that history and maintaining it. Hundreds of visitors come from all over, and especially school children, to tour the buildings, learn the history, and it's a true learning experience that helps shape their lives in a very positive way. And I believe the more that you know about your past, the more you'll know about your future. I want to tell you something about a historic site that's close to my heart, because I live there, and it's the old mission school, the Henderson School on Olive Street. And just imagine, if you can, living in a house that started out as a school 149 years ago. And the good part about it, the land was donated for the education of freedmen and children, irrespective of race or color, and it was donated by Lafayette Gregg and his wife, Jane. Now, wasn't it good that the American Missionary Society decided to build a school, a brick schoolhouse in Fayetteville, Arkansas, in 1866? And in that same year, E.E. Henderson was a U.S. Marshal, was appointed to Arkansas to be the superintendent of schools. And he designated Fayetteville School District number 1. He served 7 years in Fayetteville, and when he first got here, he wasn't very well welcomed, but he persevered. And then, after 7 years, he went on to be an Indian guide, but the school that was named after him lasted here for 70 years. And then after the school closed, it became a very nice public community meeting place. And then it became a residence for several generations. And then my husband and I moved up here in 1960. No, 1990, I'm sorry. I was just a baby. I wanted to find out about history because I was a school teacher. And so finally by 1994, I had the pleasure of interviewing 4 of the most gracious and dignified students who were the very last students to ever attend Henderson School. And they can recall in 1936, they packed up their books right at the end of the school term, and they packed up their supplies and walked about 3 blocks south of my house, where Henderson School was, into the new Lincoln School to start a new school year. But I was very fortunate to have the interview with these 4 students who were the last 4 to attend Henderson School. And I have some short quotes. Russell Hoover. I think some of you will know these old names. Listen. Russell Hoover said, "I loved Henderson School because it was the beginning of my education. This is where our dreams began. We were taught to respect our home, our school, and our whole community." And Louis Bryant, he said, out on the playground, I love to shoot marbles and to swing on that tether swing out there. And I learned responsibility by getting to school early and bringing in the wood for the potbelly stove to keep the building warm. Mama Dee, Lodine Deffenbaugh, she was in the interview too, and she was a real spirit leader. She said the parents would take turns bringing a pot of beans to put on that potbelly stove and have lunch for the kids. However, Louis Bryant came back and said, you can also go down to the corner store and buy a whole lot of peanut butter and crackers for a nickel. So I think he had crackers, peanut butter, and the bean soup too. This is something that I want you to listen to. That is the original school bell that rung for 70 years at Henderson School. And Betty Davis said she lived so close to Henderson School that she could wait until she heard that bell ring. And then she could start out walking and be in line, ready to go in the classroom with all the students. And today, Betty hadn't heard that bell ring in a long time. It's in the The most important thing Betty said in that interview, though, and it's been in some of the videos too, and she believes it with all her heart, that she will continue to share the history of her ancestors for as long as she has life. And that was... And she vowed that she would share that history, and she's been doing it all this month so beautifully. Here it is, I'm sorry. Because she really appreciates all the sacrifices, and she has shared the sacrifices, and she knows what her ancestors have sacrificed for her to obtain an education. And once she left Henderson School in the 8th grade, she went on to St. Louis to finish schooling. And I hope that the persistent spirit that I've learned from students here will help shape my life. And education is a long and ongoing road to success. And I'm proud that it began in Fayetteville for so many people. And it's still going on in Fayetteville education. Thank you so much.